Welcome to the Mule Taming series, where we take two feral mules and teach them the basics of groundwork. We're going to do something very new with both Brownie and Blondie today, and we're going to work on trailering. So when I am working on trailering, I like to back my horse trailer right up to one of the pens, open it up, connect it to the trailer, and make kind of like a chute. It's also super important that when you are teaching a behavior like this, that you have a nice open trailer, which is why I like my stock trailer, because sometimes like a straight load or a super small trailer can make it a little bit more difficult and make the equine feel trapped. Starting with Brownie, I'm going to start by trying to encourage Brownie to come closer and closer to the horse trailer. With every step that she takes, I'm going to release that pressure. You can see that she's already kind of starting to approach the horse trailer. When both Brownie and Blondie were brought here, they were corralled into a chute and like kind of just forced into a trailer. So I'm trying to make this as positive an experience as possible. And I'm just going to continue to encourage Brownie to come towards the trailer. And like I said, with every step, I'm going to release that pressure. Switching the camera view to the inside of the trailer so you guys can see more, I'm going to let Brownie investigate the trailer however she wants. Horses, mules, they're all naturally curious animals. And so when you are training certain things, you want to kind of use that curiosity to your advantage, right? You want to take their curiosity and use it to shape a behavior such as loading and unloading from a trailer. I do have some hay on the ground, so, Brownie's kind of investigating that. Those are good things as well. Like if you have food or reinforcers on the ground, reinforcers in your pocket, these are all good things to try to encourage them to jump into the trailer. So you can see right here, I'm applying a little bit of pressure. Brownie starts to get a little bit closer, and every time she gets closer, I release that pressure. Right here, she's kind of pawing. I'm going to let her paw, and I'm just going to give her a moment. Here, she's actually pawing at the trailer specifically, and I'm actually going to release this pressure. Even though I don't want her to like paw the trailer necessarily, it shows that she's willing to put a foot in the trailer. And every small step in the right direction, I want to make sure that I release pressure. I give her lots of verbal praise, and I really want to make this a good experience because trailer loading is something that Brownie is going to have to do for the rest of her life. And so I want to make sure that this is a positive, pleasurable experience, and I don't want her to create any unnecessary fear towards the trailer as well. So you can see right here, she's kind of stopped investigating, so I'm going to try to encourage her to come into the trailer yet again. If she continues to start investigating, I'm going to release that pressure and just give her a moment to just continue looking at the trailer and seeing if it's something that she maybe wants to enter. You can see right here that Brownie actually feels comfortable enough to get her front feet in the trailer, so I'm going to release all that pressure, give her verbal praise, let her look around, and you can see that she actually feels comfortable enough to join me all the way in the trailer. So I'm going to give her lots of pets, lots of attention, show her that she's doing an absolutely phenomenal job because she did just jump right in this trailer. It's important to remember that horses and mules and equines, they don't have the best vision and they have very poor depth perception. So when you are asking them to load into a trailer, to us it may not seem like a big deal, but to them you're literally asking them to jump inside of a box that is loud, it's weird, it's dark, and to them it might look like they're jumping into like this bottomless pit, right? Like they're entering this box that doesn't have an ending just because they do have bad depth perception. And that's another reason why I like this trailer specifically, because it is open and there is light. But just remember to have some grace because, their vision is not the same as ours. Even though it takes some encouragement, I am able to get Brownie to back out of the trailer. The goal here is that if Brownie just takes a step backwards or just moves backwards or shifts her weight backwards, I'm going to release pressure and give her lots of love and attention to show her that she's doing a good job. You always want to make sure that you reward the try. Any step in the right direction is a good step, in my opinion. So now you can see here that I was able to encourage her all the way out of the trailer. I'm going to give her lots of love and attention. Because she did so great this time, I did end up doing it several more times, but I'm just going to show you guys this little bit and move on to Blondie now that you've kind of gotten an idea of just the process. Moving on to Blondie. So Blondie does not do as great with loading and unloading as Brownie did, and I'm going to show you guys why. So starting off, I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did with Brownie. I'm going to lead her towards the trailer. You can see that she moved a lot quicker towards the trailer. She followed me, whereas like Brownie was a little bit hesitant. But you can see right here that I'm starting to encourage her to just come towards the trailer, come investigate the trailer. She's kind of spreading out her front legs as far as she can from her hinds as a way to kind of be like, I don't know if I want to come much closer. And so I'm just going to take this time to just continue to encourage her towards the trailer and encourage her to investigate it. Here, she's kind of in that investigation process. She's looking at it, exploring it, sniffing it, all things that I want her to do because, as I said when I was working with Brownie, I really want to encourage that curiosity and use it to my advantage. Right here, you can see that Blondie starts to get into the trailer, and then eventually she just launches her whole body into the trailer. And so I want to take this moment that if you guys, like, this is your first time training this behavior, please, please, please be careful, because you are essentially putting yourself in a box with a 1,200-pound animal, if not more. And so just always, always, always be safe, because they might dart in, or what you're going to see Blondie do here in a moment is I try and get her to come out, and she darts right out and tries to take me with her. So just remember that safety is a huge priority, and in a second here, I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to try and work with this behavior. Here's more of an inside view of what Blondie did when I loaded her. This is from like a different time because I loaded her in and out several times, but I'm able to encourage her to get all the way in the trailer. She just jumps right in the trailer, immediately turns around and darts back out and tries to drag me with her. I did not want to end up like too close to her hind end or anything, or get squished between her side and the trailer, so I ended up just letting her go, and we're going to try again, and I'm going to show you guys my goal on working through this. So what I've got going on here is you can see that I have this leader rope just like loosely wrapped around part of the trailer. And so I have it this way because if Blondie decides that she's going to turn around and just bolt right back out, I have a bit of a leverage point, right? I'm not necessarily strong enough to be able to hold on to Blondie if she decides to spin and bolt out. And so by using that little bit around the trailer, the goal here is just for me to be able to have a little bit of extra strength, right? If she does try and turn around, I've got more of an ability to hold her head inside the trailer rather than her being able to just yank around, spin around, put me in a dangerous position by turning her butt to me and just trying to like escape the trailer as fast as humanly possible. Again, this is all a very good reminder that you want to train trailering very slow if you can help it, because you know, this is something that both Brownie and Blondie are going to have to do for the rest of their lives. And so I want this to be a positive experience. I understand that Blondie's definitely more afraid than Brownie, and that's why she keeps blowing out. And so that just means I'm going to take a little bit of extra time, you know, take some of the other tricks I have up my sleeve to try and get her as comfortable with the trailer as humanly possible. After using the little lead rope trick, I have been able to successfully keep Blondie from just turning and bolting out of the trailer like twice now, I think, I'm pretty sure. So now I'm going to try and do it one more time without the lead rope like wrapped around the trailer. You can see here that I've got her in. I'm giving her some reinforcers. I'm going to give her lots of love and attention, and show her that she's doing a great job. Once Blondie has calmed down enough to the point where like her head's not raised and she's not trying to move around a lot, then I'm going to ask her to start backing out of the trailer. I just want her to feel comfortable enough in the trailer and being in the trailer with me that she doesn't feel the need to panic. You can see right here I'm starting to ask her to back out, and she jumps right back in because she was super afraid after she took that backward step. So I want to make sure I give her lots of extra encouragement. You can see that she's starting to get all worked up again after that backup step, and then she just bolts out of the trailer again. I'm able to get Blondie to load into the trailer several more times. The issue that I keep having with her is getting her to comfortably exit the horse trailer in like a polite and respectful manner, because she just likes to bolt right out of it. And so basically when she's doing this, is just shows that she's not the most comfortable with the trailer, right? She's not, when she's in the trailer, she starts to panic, she starts to freak out, and that's why she just bolts out. She'll go in there because she trusts me enough to know that I'm not going to hurt her and that she's going to be safe, but she does not feel comfortable enough to just stay in there. And so she sees that exit and decides to just take it, whereas Brownie thinks about it, realizes that it's really not that big of a threat, and you know, just stays in there and calms down pretty quick. Blondie does not. So I'm going to do something, you know, a little bit special for these two girls, because they are doing so well, and just a way to kind of help them with that fear towards the trailer. So you can see right here I'm just smoking a cigarette, letting Blondie kind of stand by the entrance of the trailer, and then I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to try and just help them both grow more comfortable with the trailer and not as afraid of it. I'm going to leave the horse trailer in the chute, and instead of putting Brownie and Blondie back in their separate pens, I'm going to keep them together and let them eat in the trailer for the next several days. And so what this is doing is this is creating positive associations with the horse trailer. Both of them are starting to realize that, hey, this horse trailer gives me food. This horse trailer really isn't all that scary. And then they start to load and unload themselves. You can see right here that Brownie's loaded herself. Blondie ends up loading herself in some of these clips as well. Even though Brownie didn't have as much anxiety towards the trailer, Blondie definitely did. And so by just feeding them in the trailer, it shows them that this horse trailer is really not as scary as they think it is, and it will hopefully begin to diminish some of Blondie's anxiety towards the horse trailer.